Good evening, Fradies and skeletons. My name is Frito, and I am here to introduce you to part 1 of the Wonders and Blunders Halloween Spooktacle. When we last left our zeros, they had left dumb, boring mountain town to find Pastry Lady's mom or something, but instead found themselves in a chilling encounter with a Yeti. Lucky for them, Fuzzy Boss's dagger skills are on the cutting edge. Will the bosses find out what they are spooking for? Or is this caravan just a meal on wheels? Now, put on your head groans or power up your goo-tooth shrieker, because it's time for Chapter 1, Heckavator, to Heck!
Well, if it's not safe out here, I don't know that we're going to be able to find a place to put all the carriages and Gertie and Brett and all of us that a Yeti wouldn't be able to get into.
Right.
If they're this size.
We might just have to keep a good watch.
I think that might be our best bet.
Well, just keep a good watch, or we could push through the night.
Well, there is a cave we could go to.
A cave?
A Yeti cave.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looked like
I think it's
it might be
entirely
next.
possible that, yes, that's where the Yetis reside.
Oh, speaking of which, I found this sword in there too. It's a silver sword. Now, it's not the kind of thing I use, but maybe, does anyone recognize it?
What kind of sword is it?
A long sword.
Yeah, it's a silver longsword.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he kind of tests the weight, and he's like, too heavy. Just like,
Well, but do you recognize any of the markings?
oh, yes. I guess.
I'll just kind of pat you on the shoulder.
Maybe I'll do like a history check.
Sure.
And have I done a history check on this yet? I don't think I have.
I don't think so, no.
Oh,
Okay, I will.
I'll do an
yeah, we should all-
18.
Am I allowed? Can we all?
Yeah.
I'll help Vaelin get. I'll help him by just randomly shouting out historical facts. That I know.
Yes, helping.
Perhaps the fearless leader of the caravan might know what kind of sword this is.
Ah, yeah, let me take a look.
I got a 10.
I got an 18 on my
actually,
history.
I did all right.
Okay. Yuri says, well, looks like we got some... this looks like... I mean, this is a clear indicator of Paylor, and he kind of like looks down at the hilt, and you can see that there's like a sun, almost like it's rising out of the hilt itself. He was like, that's pretty easy to spot. But Star, you notice beyond that the sun is not just a religious symbol in this case, but actually seems to be indicating the sword's purpose, or like what it was made for. Has something to do with a rising sun. You see some of the runes up the side, and they roughly translate to the Lightbringer.
If you push the sun, does it click in and like the runes light up like little LEDs?
Yeah, a little. When you click the sun, a little flag comes out the front that says "bang."
Star just sort of like graces his palm like along the runes and just sort of reads out like Lightbringer. Does
Would
that ring a
I
bell
got
for
an
anybody?
unnatural 20. Would that trigger something extra that I might know?
Oh, you got an nat 20 on the
unnatural 20.
on the history?
Yeah.
Yes. This is. You can see that this looks like some sort of guild blade. That there would be multiples of this type of sword. So probably for a group of people who would use these.
What, like called like the Lightbringers or something like
Maybe,
that?
yeah, like that's what these swords are called. The swords would be Lightbringers.
Oh, well, yeah. I think maybe, now that you mention it, I think maybe looking at how this is printed and stamped into the metal, this might be part of a set. Maybe a group or something called the Lightbringers or something like that.
Might they be connected to Diglin and her group of witch hunters?
I have to ask about it when we find her.
Are we setting up camp here and just keeping a watch?
There are many of us, and these seem to hunt as individuals.
Yeah.
I think that they will not bother us if we keep a watch.
Yeah, if we stay in this one's territory, and this one now being dead, I don't think we'll be too bothered.
Yeah, Ben's just squat down next to it, and he's got a stick. He's just kind of poking it. Yeah, hopefully there won't be any more, but we should be able to... We killed this one really fast, right? Rowan, you'd notice that like on Ben's temple, there's like still a white feather. He's shifted back into just like human-ish but there's still like a white feather sticking out of his temple.
Okay. So you make your way back to camp. What do you do to sort of prepare?
Is Star dragging the body back of this giant yeti and doing anything with it?
No.
Yeah, so I think Bree just kind of looks at you as you walk away and is like, Star, you cannot just leave body here.
Wait, what?
You kill
I
creature.
don't understand. I'm not going to eat it, if that's what you're suggesting.
Why not? He's good. Well, he's okay meat. You cannot just waste.
We still have a lot of wolf meat, don't we?
What do you
Yes.
suggest? What do you suggest we do?
Well, you should do something with it. You killed.
Oh, what if we like set it up
I was
like a
just
warning to the
thinking
others?
the
You know, do
same
some real
thing.
psychopath shit.
Maybe you could make me some pants out of it.
He's little
Let's-
big for your pants.
Seems a little
I don't mean the
undignified.
whole thing, but you can make some of... I really need new pants.
Legs out of the leg fur.
Nobody's got any like repressed anger they need to get out on this corpse, or
And I dig out a dagger and I run over and start chopping off one hand.
hey, that's the spirit, Vaelin.
And I'm like so eager to use this spell, I'm not as creeped out this time as I'm like.
Vaelin, do you need a hand?
A meteor killed.
Yeah, that's great.
So Vaelin, yeah. So after a couple of minutes of work, you can sever the hand.
Yeah, so then I'll start casting as a ritual Dead Man's Tell.
Okay.
And then I guess we're bringing the rest of it back to camp for me to deglove its legs and drop the rest of it up as a warning.
Bree's gross.
Just Winnie the Pooh in this Yeti.
And that's where we earn the explicit rating right there.
Yeah. Yuri's like, oh god, this is really twisted, Bree. I gotta say.
Ben wants pants.
I mean,
okay,
it
so
would make a good rug too.
so your preparations for the night are just hurting this yeti, desecrate the corpse. So who's gonna take first watch?
I think I'll participate in first watch because I've got a bunch of
I'll
rituals
also
to do.
participate
Okay.
in the first watch.
And
But I'm not watching for anything because I'm busy.
Okay.
Kara's gonna stay up, and she's gonna cast Dark Vision on herself.
Okay. So Vaelin, Star, and Cara are taking first watch. Yuri stays up with you as well for that first one, and he starts putting together the wooden frame to prop the Yeti up on to to warn off the other ones.
Mm-hmm. And I'd ask Rowan, and if you want to hand me that sword to examine.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so the first 22 minutes of my watch are spent surrounded by my various magical arcane paraphernalia.
So one of them's identify, the other one is Dead Man's Tell.
Yeah.
Okay. So when identify goes off, the sword isn't magical. Cool. Just silver. Yeah. Yeah, and you see the, I don't know what, the hand goes into a thumbs up to tell you that the ritual's done.
Yeah, so now if one comes within 30 feet, it'll start writhing and
Okay, cool.
for one round.
So everybody can take their full rest.
18th of Janusberry.
Oh yeah, and I do want to make my my wolf cloak over this period.
Oh, you're making a wolf cloak?
Start making my wolf cloak, yeah.
Cool. How long does it take? Does
I
it
mean,
say?
there's no rules. I mean, it doesn't really say I can actually make a cloak, but it says I can make other things.
Okay.
So
I
that's
like
up to
that
you.
you can. So let's do
Where is the racial feat?
for this thing. I'm gonna set it at like a total DC.
Sure.
So you can make progress on it. Just with like a survival check.
Okay.
So make a survival check for this night of working on it.
Yeah. The rule is, as part of a short rest, you can create a shield, club, javelin, darts, or blowgun needles from materials from slain creatures.
You can tell when working with this, you're gonna be able to make something good out of it.
22.
Nice.
Hell. Wow. Okay. So you get a lot done.
Woo.
And you can like carefully sort of cut around. What do you want it to
I
look
got all
like?
this fresh Yeti sinew to work with, so like, I'm just going over and like peeling parts off this Yeti to just dragging it back. I think because Bree has kind of a white underbelly but blue scales on the outside of her, she's kind of trying to design it as a full like cloak and hood so that she can turn white and blend into the snow as much as possible.
Oh, cool. Okay. Great. Yeah. So you get a fair bit of that done, and it's pretty like I think basically you have the whole shape of it done. I think all that you need to do is like tan it properly so it'll keep.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Everybody sort of wakes up. Yuri gets you breakfast and everything and starts tearing down camp.
So yeah, I guess Ben gets dressed and just looks at the hem of his pants, which are now his like actually further from his boots, and just sighs heavily. And goes out for breakfast. Also, anyone who look at Ben now in the morning light, he still has like a single owl feather sticking out of his temple.
I pluck it.
Okay. Ow!
You had bird left. And I hand it to you.
And Ben takes the feather. He's like, weird. And like rubs his temple.
Now you got put like a big meaty paw on your head and just like tussle your hair.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ben is not. He doesn't enjoy it.
It's not for you. It's for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Like Ben is like he like moves away, like this very irritated look on his face, and you'd actually notice that the white streak in his hair is just a little wider. What should I feed my puppy?
I mean, it should be fine. It is dog. It is wolf. Meat is meat.
Okay. All right. Ben gets a hunk of meat and plops down next to the campfire and takes out Star's dagger, sticks it on the end, and he's like kind of roasting the meat there.
Yeah, the puppy is staring at it and drooling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you feed your dog. It's nice. It likes it. A little heart comes up over its head, and its friendship meter goes up.
Thank God.
Is that my dagger?
I don't know. I found it in my cloak.
I don't know if I believe him. I mean, no, on the hilt it says right there, star.
Oh,
I carved that into all my daggers.
Are you sure it's not Packers tape with Sharpie?
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Hold on to it. For a second I thought you were rummaging through my things.
No, I found it after we came back from the basement at Bridget's.
Oh. And like he just kind of looks up.
Far away.
Yeah. Okay, so Yuri sort of gets you back on the road. You start making your way along as the sun sort of moves up in the air after a few hours. The mountains around you as you get closer, because you're heading north now towards where the elevator is. So sort of moving away from the river. And the mountains around you start to eclipse where the sun is in the sky. So you're sort of in the shadow of the mountain as you move closer and closer. It does take you the full day of travel. So the sun eventually makes its way over the top of the mountains and then gets eclipsed by the mountains on the other side behind you. The weather stays pretty good the whole time until the evening. And as the sun starts to go down, you start to see like lightning above the mountains in the direction that you're heading. Dark clouds as big snowflakes start to fall around you. Yeah, so the light starts to trickle away, but every once in a while you see over the top of the mountains is lit up by this like striking lightning. And then you break the tree cover and you see a couple of little huts. And in between those two huts, you see a big wooden structure, probably like 70 feet across, 30 feet out, attached to these big chains with a lot of like gears that seem to move up this smoothed out section of the cliffside and move straight up.
Fascinating.
That's a huge undertaking. Look at all that carving.
And you, Rowan, I think you hear like a grunting sound, very similar to ones that the Yeti was making, and the rattling of chains. And all of you see from either side of this elevator, these two Yetis sort of step out from the caves and are just sort of watching you. And they have big manacles around their necks and around their wrists.
How far are we from the river right?
From the river?
Yeah.
Like a full day now.
Yeah, because we left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they sort of like step out and start. They sort of like move back and forth restlessly, but they don't come at you. You can see their eyes just staring at you.
Are those domesticated yetis?
Well, those are awfully big manacles for something that's domesticated.
Hello?
And when you call out, one of the doors of the hut opens like immediately, and you see this elf step out, wearing this sort of gray and red leather armor with a big black woolen cloak sort of pulled up over their head, and they step out and say like, "Hoy there."
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Vaelin Darius Rutherford the Fourth. We're members of the Caravan of Wonders, and we seek passage.
What business have you?
A business acquaintance of ours. We believe to reside within.
Who's that?
Her name is Diglin.
Well, all right.
What's my insight picking up on him?
You get recognition off the name, and you see they kind of like look you over. Right. Well, you want to head up?
If you would be so kind, yes.
Very well. How long's it been since you've been here?
I've never been here myself.
Have you been here, Yuri?
Yuri's like, oh yeah, I've been here. Jeez, what was it? Probably 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while though. And he says, yeah, well, it's been changed quite a bit since then. You'll have to check in with security at the top, probably check some items, if that's all right with you. If not, best not to head up.
What kind of items?
Certain blades. Well, here, let me give you this. And he hands you a sheet of paper that says Bludovia Contraband. And as he hands that to you, lightning strikes again from above. No sharpened wood, no silver, and no
Garlic?
explosives.
No garlic.
No explosives?
Garlic's not there, no.
I'm literally just carrying silver and sharpened wood.
Yeah.
Sharpened bone as well, right?
It doesn't say anything about bones. Bones are fine.
I can always sharpen some more wood.
I would like to roll on these items and see if I have heard of anything. Like a history check or...
This is vampire stuff. Everyone's passive history picks it up.
Okay.
No crucifixes.
All right.
Star looks at the guy and says, "This is vampire stuff."
That's a strange thing to say.
Is it?
Is it though?
No, it's not. What are you talking about? It's clearly vampire stuff.
Well, you don't like the rules of Bloodovia, you don't have to come.
Are you and
Did you
your
say-
family happy in Bludovia?
Happiness isn't a rule in Bludovia. I can be happy if I want.
Has your community been dwindling?
Well...
Feeling emaciated,
I mean...
drained, if you
Nostalgic,
will.
maybe?
I mean, it's a hard job, you know, watching the elevator, making sure that people behave themselves before they go up in the elevator. You know, I've got to feed the Yetis, keep them happy.
When you go home, do your friends look like they're getting skinnier and skinnier?
Well, I mean, some of my friends could eat more, some of them could eat less, though, I'll tell you that.
So there's some sort of a new mayor that's moved
Mayors. Try mayorship.
in. Tri-mayorship.
How long has it been?
And could you
We
give us
got,
their names?
Yeah, of course. I know them off by heart. It's Mayor Baron Garen, Mayor Baroness Morguna, and Mayor Duke Vladimir.
Well, they sound charming, don't they?
Well, they're all right.
This is a dilemma, because it's like, let's just go somewhere.
Let's not go there. It's a silly place. No, we're going in.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
And have you seen Diglin recently?
I don't know Diglin.
You don't?
You don't know Diglin?
I don't know Diglin.
Right. personally, you mean, you know of?
What does she look like? Or they, whoever they are.
Right.
Well, what do you think? Should we
We don't need the sword. We can leave the sword with them and pick it up on the way out. The items will be returned to us when we leave, correct?
Oh, yeah, actually, one of the rules is that you're not allowed to leave.
I just stare at it.
That's going to be a problem.
Well, you don't have to go in.
No, we don't.
So, only in.
Where did you say Diglin was? You don't know who Diglin is?
I don't know, Diglin.
Come on, we're all friends here. I mean, you know who Diglin is. I'm going to try to persuade him to
Female dwarf.
A persuasion check? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, can I try to... Yeah, you clearly know who Diglin is, right? You can tell us. We're all friends here. If she's not here, we won't go in. I mean, it's that simple, right?
Okay.
Oh, wow, 25?
25?
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, she was... Now that I think of it, she was here. She just moved after.
Moved where?
I don't know. None of my business.
And when you say after, when?
When she concluded her business, she was quite vocal about it.
But was this
I thought
before
that
the
people
rule
could never
about not
leave.
leaving?
Oh, no, you can't leave, but you can move. People move all the time.
Where do they move?
I don't know. It's none of my business. Wherever they'd like, I suppose. Well, some of them just move and leave a note. Other ones, you know, they'll come up to you in the dead of
I
night,
see,
faces
all that.
hollow,
Right,
and
okay.
scream,
Yeah.
I'm moving, you know?
I'm
that
picking
kind of
up
thing.
what you're putting down. That's all right. You can stop. Maybe we should all have a little huddle over there in the tree. Yeah.
Yes, if you'll excuse us for a moment,
Of course.
and we'll just like huddle down, step away into the trees.
Like
I think.
Scooby Gang style.
Yeah.
Ben's just completely oblivious, playing with his puppy in the caravan.
Yeah. And Yuri's like, I don't see the problem. What's going on? We want to go up. Let's go up.
Well, Yuri,
It sounds like if we go up, we're going to be eaten by vampires. And our contact is in there and may have been eaten by vampires.
Where are you getting this vampire stuff?
What are vampire?
They suck the blood out of people and they're dead.
Undead, I believe, is the current terminology.
they'll trick you, Bree. They'll trick you into liking them, even if you don't think you will. You will. And then when you think that you guys are good friends, they'll do something real dastardly.
Well, they drink blood. They sound nice. No one here drink blood with Bree. I ask and I ask and I ask. And no, he's gross. Oh.
I tried it once and I vomited profusely.
Well, it's acquired taste.
The problem is, we need to find out where Diglin might be.
But I haven't had any direct dealing with vampires, and I was hoping I never would, but this looks like it might change, and I would like to have that silver sword with us.
Mm.
And maybe we should stock up on sharpened wood and explosives.
Yeah, all the things on that list, I think we should take a...
Well, as much as I can carry while I'm me, I can sort of stash away if I turn into something else.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Is there anything that we think would be particularly helpful and don't want them to take?
You kind of see that I'll go quiet at this point, and my hand will kind of come up around my brother, the geode. I'm not saying anything, though. I'm just kind of like looking off and holding that.
Rowan, would you like me to take it? Teak?
That's nice of you. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could take it off, and I'll like turn to Cara, and like my face is very long, and I kind of like.
Well, hang on. We're going to plan what we need me to carry. Well, you can hold on until then.
Right. Yeah, and maybe at the last. Yeah, and just before you go, you can take Teak, and then it'll be safer with you.
It's also entirely possible that they care not a stitch about what you're wearing.
Well, yeah, but can you imagine if they do? I can, and I'd rather not. So we'll risk. Well, it's all right. And I'm like, I'll kind of like start sort of shaking my hands and bouncing a little bit, like I'm prepping myself and psyching myself up. It's
All right. So, who's gonna go cut some steaks, and we'll get ready to go.
Yeah, I guess start cutting steaks in the
yeah,
woods.
yeah.
60 feet away from the elevator.
Okay.
Right in front of him. Like, none of his business.
What are you doing over there? So you pile Cara up with vampire killing items.
Give me tie an extra belt of Yeti leather around my waist so I can hold on to more.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be a wolf.
A wolf?
Yep.
Okay.
A husky-ish wolf.
Okay. The fluffiest wolf you ever did see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cara sickeningly cracks into the form of a wolf.
Yeah, I would have handed over Teak sort of the last minute. You like kind of would have given me, and kind of without saying anything and sort of very fast, I would have like white knuckled and then kind of like dropped it in your palm and then kind of stand back and be like, no, it's fine, 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 it's fine.
Yeah. More lightning.
It's fine.
Okay, so you're gonna make your way up.
Yeah.
So you go back over, and he says, "All right, all ready to go. You've agreed with the rules."
Yes, not a problem.
Okay, very well. All aboard then.
And does the caravan come onto the way?
Yeah, so it
elevator?
can fit.
This big giant thing.
Yeah, it's it looks like this is how they get in any sort of trade goods they do. Yeah. He sort of like whistles, and you hear the other door open up, and another elf sort of steps out dressed in the same sort of garb. And he says, "I'm heading up. Watch our friends here." And he steps up to the Yetis to sort of watch over them. And he pulls a big lever, and you hear like all this metal all the way up as the chains tighten, and it sort of lurches and then slowly starts to rise up above the ground.
This elevator going up, it's like a cabin sort of thing. Like it's like a house.
Yeah.
Does it still have like windows on the outside that let you see out?
Yeah. So it's not. There's walls about up to like your stomach level.
It's a gazebo.
Yeah, it's a gazebo. Yeah.
A big gazebo.
And it starts to make its way up. It's just sort of rattling, and this guy is just standing there watching you with his hand on the lever.
Mm-hmm. Vaelin is engrossed in like the mechanics of it all.
And then it sort of goes dark as you make your way into this sort of tunneled section into the rock, where it sort of moves up into this rock chute that's been carved out as the icy rock sort of overhangs this area. And every 10 or so feet you see they have like windows sort of carved in, so just like lines of light move up as you start to go. And every time you go into the darkness, Rowan, when you look at this guy, you can see his eyes don't fully go out in the dark. They have this sort of pale red, these two pale red sort of beady eyes are still watching you every time you go into the dark. And then on the other side of you, light sort of shines in from torches as you clunk into place at the top. And he says, "Welcome to Bloodovia."
Now, did he say Blood-dovia? Because I could have sworn it was Blue-dovia earlier.
There's different ways to pronounce it.
Blood. Great. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you.
Bree has this whole elevator ride just been like pressed up against the glass, like looking out over the forest and everything, and just like in total awe.
It is kind of a nice sight, especially too when you get up like towards the setting sun. You can see like down the valley of the mountain and almost see the retreat of the sun as it starts to move behind the... and you see how far off this goes. It's still a fairly clear day. There is snow falling, but you can see far enough that you can actually see the big lake on the map that has the sunken church marked on it.
I would have spent the whole time studiously not looking at the wolf, but also never being more than 5 feet away from the wolf.
Yeah.
And the wolf would like to sniff this guy and see if he smells like a normal human being.
Okay.
Or person thing. Or if he smells, like
not.
he eats
No.
blood.
Sure. So you can take advantage for smell.
And that makes it a 22.
22. They have no body heat. you like smell, and normally like when you smell everyone else, you can like smell the sort of heat coming off of their body, and this guy has none. He also like, you come up to him as a wolf, and he like glances down and he's like, yeah, totally normal, and looks back up.
Well, I'm gonna casually move away from him, and then I'm going to proceed to telepathically speak to everybody in the group, one at a time.
Okay.
So this guard fellow is in fact a vampire, and so we should all just keep that in mind. Probably all the guards are vampires.
What?
Oh, Ben. Don't worry too much. Keep calm.
And he's like, what?
It's really high up.
Oh, yeah. You didn't... Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, have a good time.
Yeah, because we've arrived now, I guess.
Yeah. And he's like, I gotta bring this back down, so...
Ben was just like kind of standing next to Bree, looking out over the thing, and now he's just like looks back down.
What do we see now that it's like opened up?
So the where you were looking out before is closed over with stone, and you see torches to probably like a 30-foot hallway that leads out into the which is carved through the rock, which leads out. And then outside that, you actually see like a stable with a couple of horses tied up, and you see another guard standing outside. This one's a human, and he says, "Hello, welcome to Bladovia. Contraband, please."
Oh, we left that down.
What the fuck? Did that wolf just get in my brain?
Does he assume it's the wolf?
He's like, hey, no brain talking.
You'll see the list in the fine print. No brain talking.
Yes, we examined your list of contraband, and we haven't any on us.
Okay, well, just put your items up on the desk here, and we'll have a look through just to be sure.
Certainly. Yeah, we start laying like torches and bottles of ink.
Yeah,
I'm just laying down like pieces of meat and like intestines that have been
I'm trying to clutter them as much as
days.
possible with all like just like the meaningless stuff.
So he takes a look through everything. He takes those pythons, the wooden pythons that you had from the guy's gear.
They always find something to forget about when you go through TSA.
Yeah.
I did have a handgun on me this whole time.
I forgot I found it in that weird cave.
Okay, well, that all seems to check out. You guys can head inside. Enjoy your stay in Bladovia.
So we didn't get our weapons back. Anything that we put on that counter, he just kept.
No, he took all the stuff that you weren't allowed to have. So he took the pythons, and everything else you're okay to take.
Okay.
And your name?
Geralt. Geralt.
Just in case, if we need to return and there's any problems retrieving our items.
Oh, yeah. And he reaches down, he gives you 2 numbers.
Excellent.
Sticks a copy of the numbers on the items that he took. Just make sure you hold on to that. It's a real pain in the ass if you lose them.
Yeah, if we start walking away, what do we see?
So you walk out of this area. In front of you see like a stable. Beyond that, you see like a sort of modest cluster of houses, small houses. They look to be in pretty bad disrepair. You look up beyond that, and on the hill there's this big Gothic castle, lightning striking behind it. You can see sort of smoke coming from the bellows of a blacksmith closer to the edge of the mountains. So behind the town, the mountains reach up like into the sky beyond. And on the other side, you can see a small thicket of trees that move out to the edge of what looks like a sheer drop to the sides of the of this mountained off section of the elevator pit.
It's a nice town, nicer than Pinafel.
Sure. We've got to find Diglin, I suppose.
You move in, the mist sort of parting at your feet as you walk. You hear the howl of wolves and a big pile of bats flies over the top and sort of swirls up into the belfry of the castle, and then lightning strikes again. So you sort of walk along this pathway past the stable. Yuri says, I'm going to keep the caravan near the stable, but I'm going to keep it pretty ready to go.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Are we going to try and get out of here by tonight?
Frankly, I think as soon as we can get any kind of word of Diglin, we get real out of here real quick.
Yeah, Ben pops out of the back of the caravan and like sits next to Yuri, and he's got this like little like storybook with like a gold spine, and it says the ABCs of monsters. And he's like flicking through it, and he stops at V. And he's just like, it's like wolves and bats, mist. Uncle Yuri, I think there's vampires here.
Ben, did you miss all the lead up to here?
I was playing with my puppy.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Hold that close, or maybe leave it with me. I don't know. That thing is chock full of blood.
My puppy or the book? My puppy. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We should figure it out. Go find what we need to find here, so we can leave.
And perhaps we should take another look at this list of rules that they handed us. We've got no leaving, which is already going to be a problem. No sharp wood, no silver, no crucifixes, no daytime garden parties, no skipping your mandatory nighttime alone walks, no skipping your juice, no water features or dam projects, no denying entry to a mayor, baron, baroness, or duke, no secrets spoken outside the presence of a rat or wolf. Moving is allowed, but must be from a recognized Bloodovia property. Property can be purchased or gifted by a mayor. That last part is confusing.
Yeah, right. Do they purchase it from you, or do they give it to you?
What?
It sounds like both. Who
It's
wants,
clear, right?
who wants
I
these
mean,
stakes and things?
They're
now that-
vampires. If they make you a vampire, they give you the property. Then they send you out to do vampire stuff for the rest of the world.
Should we be talking quieter? There's wolves and bats over.
There are wolves everywhere, yeah. There's 4 wolves that you can see wandering around. They're not paying you much attention, but they are looking at you as they walk past.
Not gonna lie, I really thought we were gonna have trouble with you turning into a wolf. It's so funny that we get
I'm no longer a wolf, by the way. I am now Cara, handing everybody sharp sticks.
Are you doing that in the open?
Yep.
Bree just takes the silver longsword, spins it around, puts it back in her quiver.
Perfect.
Yeah, I take back my brother and kind of like hold it up to my nose even, and just kind of like press and breathe for a little while you guys figure out the rest of it.
I slip a couple stakes in your belt.
I don't even notice.
So you, on this pathway, sort of leads towards the houses. So you can see a bunch of houses all in pretty bad shape. To your left is a small forested area with a bunch of like twisted and gnarled trees which have sort of grown together, leafless, and it looks like they are covered in like thorns.
Oh, no.
And you see no sign of activity except for a single trailing of smoke coming out of what looks like an inn at the top of all the houses.
Well, seems like as good a place as any to start.
Now, does this inn have like rickety window blinds that are like cracking against the side of the building in the wind?
So there's like no wind that you can feel, but one of them is going okay, over
good.
and over again. And you hear a distant scream.
Yeah, we'll walk towards that.
Okay. So you walk up, there's a sign that's half hanging off and sort of swinging in this invisible breeze that says The Weary Wolf. So you step inside, you see a pretty small inn, just like one sort of table sitting in the center. Nobody in here. It's just completely, there's like a very weak fire in the hearth. And you see a couple of rooms off to the sides with doors closed. It's just a one-story inn.
Well, it's no steady stream, is it?
Certainly not. Hello?
Oh. And then from behind the desk, you see like 2 arms come up, and then sort of shakily, this person stands up behind. You see a young half-elf man sort of shakily stand up. He looks like thin, and his eyes are sort of sunken in. And he stands up and he says, "Oh, hey, welcome to the Weary Wolf. You looking for a room?"
This guy wearing like a turtleneck or a large like frilly piece of like white cloth around
He's wearing
his
a
neck?
dress shirt with the collar up.
Okay. Popped collar.
Pop collar. But it is open pretty far down.
Okay.
Sexy.
And you can sort of see like it when he walks in a certain way, you can sort of see his like ribs pressed up against his skin under the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Not much meat on his bones.
What?
We've come looking for a friend of ours.
Oh,
Would you know a woman by the name of Diglin?
Diglin. I don't think so. Although I don't really ask names.
How long have you lived here?
Ooh, time's tough. Jeez. I guess most of my life, about 15 years.
Did you say you're 15 years old?
No, I said I lived here most of my life, 15 years. So I'm a little bit older than that.
And does this guy look like he's like in his 20s or like his 60s?
It's really hard to tell. He could be 21, he could be 80 because of how close to death he
Yes,
looks.
okay. All right.
And elves aging weirdly, maybe.
Elves, yeah.
What's my insight saying with the name?
Yeah.
This you don't get any sort of recognition this time, not like the other person who was clearly hiding.
If we were looking to meet townfolk, other members of the public, where should we be looking?
Do you want to meet people?
Yes.
Well, it's almost juice time, so people will be filing through here pretty soon. Say another 20 minutes?
Sorry, what is juice time?
Oh, everybody's got to drink their juice.
Oh, I will take juice.
Of course, yeah. You have to.
Oh.
Great. Free juice.
What?
Is free?
What kind of juice?
Free, yeah.
Great.
Well, you pay in a way.
What kind of juice?
Is that the first time he's laughed?
It's not the first time, but it's been equally as strange.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, this is where we laugh now.
I am blending in, Vaelin.
Excellent work, Bree.
What kind of juice?
Orange.
Orange juice?
I didn't see any orange trees on the way in here.
No, we have to get them shipped in.
From where?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, nothing grows here. We got to get everything shipped in.
Now, you say you've been here about 15 years, is that right?
Yeah.
Has it always been as where nothing else is growing? Or do you remember that
No.
time?
Actually, yeah. It's been, I guess, only in the past, 5 years.
Right. And I've heard you got new mayors, right?
Yeah, 3 new mayors.
Yeah, when did they come into power?
Jeez, let me see. 1, 2, 5 years.
Yeah. Now, do you think maybe, and I'm going out on a limb here, but do you think maybe there's a connection between those two?
Well, there's 3 mayors.
Right.
They're all pretty connected. I think they're friends.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good. I always like to know about friendship. But
Yeah.
if they came into, we'll say they moved into town about 5 years ago, and about 5 years ago things stopped growing.
Yes.
Is that not something you kind of think about and wonder if maybe, there's a correlation?
Jeez, not until now.
Right. What?
You think they killed everything? The trees?
I mean, I'm not one to lay blame, but it does seem like a fishy connection there.
Huh. I mean, that's an interesting theory. I've heard some crazy theories from travelers before.
What kind? What kind of theories?
Oh, one person thinks the Earth is like a hollow thing and that there's a second Earth within it. And that everybody who runs things is like a lizard person.
I start sweating. Vito also starts sweating.
Keep cool, Vito.
No, it's just theory. What crazy theory?
Ixnay the Izzardlay Ursinpay.
Well, how about you talk about that theory of anybody who comes through? Just just casual conversation of like, hey, do you think maybe there's some sort of connection?
Killed the trees?
Well, who knows? But something to talk about in a town without much to talk about. I mean.
Well, I think it's why they changed the name. Because it used to be, Cedarsglen, but the cedars don't grow anymore. So, what were they going to name it? Glen? That's a stupid name.
Well, I know a Glen who's quite nice, actually, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Where do the mayors live?
Oh, they live up in Castle Garin.
And he points out the window, yeah, and then...
long winding stone.
Yeah, so it's stone steps that start just outside the sort of residential area, and they make their way sort of winding up this narrow path, steadily uphill on either side, just overgrown with these gnarled trees.
What our listeners can't tell is that we're actually inside the set for Nosferatu.
And you can see there's like a wall around the castle with like big iron gates and a small bridge that goes over a dried up riverbed.
And are there any malcontents in town?
What do you mean?
I look around for rats.
Make a perception check.
5.
5. You don't see any rats. But he kind of says,
I don't know about malcontents. Nobody really, the rules are pretty fairly stated, and we all follow them.
Now, in those rules, it says you can move.
Yeah.
How does one go about moving?
Well, you find a new house.
Here in Pludovia?
I mean, you could.
Where else would they find a house?
Well, I guess any other town.
Oh, I see. And so are they can just, you yourself could decide today, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to move. And you just go about that.
Yeah, I'd sell my house and I'd leave.
Interesting.
But the rules say no leaving.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't leave. I would move.
So in your mind right now,
yeah,
what do you see as the difference between those two things?
Well, leaving is like if you don't own property or you decide to leave your property but not be in it. And moving is finding a new house somewhere else.
Oh, I see. And so in order to get property, you have to have a meeting with these mayors.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I see now. All right.
Bree is very confused about this idea of owning home. Hall of World is home to Bree.
Well, I guess you'd never really be able to move then.
Bree sits down.
Well, of course you could. You can move around in your own home, can't you?
You can move around inside of it, but it wouldn't be moving. You have to understand that the terms laid out in here have a specific meaning beyond just the homophone of move.
Well, of course, but if the whole world is his home, and you have, let's say this inn is your home, you can move freely within this inn.
I fear that this innkeeper is not the one with which to be having this legal argument.
Right.
I'm not a lawyer.
It's getting pretty late. Ben has got the ABCs of Monsters open, the vampire page, just and there's just a picture of a fucking classic Dracula with the sun setting behind it.
So there's and I guess as you're talking, as the last light starts to trickle out from outside, you hear a big bell tone out through the town, and he says,
"Oh, it's the juice bell. I better get things ready. You guys can hang out. I guess you're here first. You can be the front of the line."
Great.
Why don't we wait until a few other folks get here?
Yes, I'm certainly more interested in questioning the other patrons of this fine establishment than in trying its wares.
Before we drink the juice, let's know the people.
Suit yourself.
And he runs into the back.
I'd like to set up my ritual, purify food and drink.
Oh, sure. How long does that take?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can find a table and start setting that up. As you sort of sit, the door slowly creaks open, and then lightning strikes outside, illuminating the silhouettes of a single file line of similarly emaciated and gray people as they sort of shuffle in, moaning slightly, and make their way to the bar.
Upon seeing this line of people, I shuffle over and to the bar ahead of them.
Okay, so yeah, they aren't moving too quick. one of them kind of goes like, hey, as you like move in front of them.
Hello.
You skipped.
No, Bree was here whole time.
Okay.
Bree, move. Moving is allowed.
You're right.
And
Great.
the innkeeper puts up a big sort of trough and then starts just scooping flagons of juice out, and he hands you a juice.
I smell it.
It smells like juice.
I drink it.
Tastes pretty good.
Okay, it doesn't taste like blood or anything?
No, it's not blood. It is orange, like yeah, and it smells citrusy.
Blood orange.
You got me.
Vaelin, would you mind casting Detect Magic?
Oh, excellent idea.
Okay.
You can see Bree kind of taking the drink and like sticking out her tongue a lot, and kind of passes it down to Bido, and disappointingly says, "I thought it was blood."
And Bido takes a sip too.
Oh, Baito, just hold on a moment.
What?
We'd just like to inspect the contents of this juice before we all start imbibing.
Oh, you want to look?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And he brings it over and plops it down on the table.
I'm gonna look with magic as well.
Yeah, I'm doing the ritual.
So over the next like 10 or 11 minutes, people file up one by one, and they all get their juice and sort of take shaky seats around and like chug it. And then just sort of sit in silence, all sort of staring off into their own pocket of nowhere. Your ritual completes. No magic.
Okay.
I would be paying close attention to the people who came through to see if everybody indeed took juice, but I would also be checking to see if others came in through a different exit or entrance, or if anything else joined people. You know what I mean? If it was just people coming through, and if they all drank, or what.
Okay, so you see everybody does drink. They all come inside through the front door, and they all stay and drink. And you also notice on the sort of next to the bar on like a shelf behind, which looks like it used to hold all sorts of like liquors and stuff like that. Normally that's what would be behind the bar. You see a rat sitting there watching everybody drink. Okay. And you saw it kind of scurry its way up there and like sniff around like it was doing rat things, and then freeze and straighten and turn and watch.
Yeah, okay. And no wolves came in.
No wolves came in.
So it's just that rat. Okay, and I'll kind of make eyes with everybody, like anytime I make eye contact with any of the party, and just kind of like glance at, like kind of flick my head towards that rat.
Do you want to grab one for me too?
And then I look at Bree, who looks, and I kind of like, no, don't eat. Just don't.
Bree's not looking at you. Bree is looking at the
rat. I just ask everybody to bring their cups up to the ritual circle.
Okay,
as I finish.
Yeah, your ritual goes off.
All right, and if there is any poison in this juice,
it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a toxin.
Yeah. Seeing you point out the rat, you pointed out the rat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like as a message in Cara's head, Vaelin's like, well, it's not magical. It's no longer could be poison. I suppose we do as the locals do?
It's worth a shot.
It's illegal not to.
Cheers.
Okay. Yeah, you all drink. Tastes pretty good.
I am not gonna drink.
You're not drinking it?
No, God no.
Okay.
I had a little drink, but then gave mine away to Bido, so...
I'll maybe look like I'm drinking it. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, and mime drinking
pot.
it, but just
Mime drinking
don't
it?
drink anything.
Yeah, so everybody kind of finishes up, and now they're just all sitting there in silence.
Yeah, I'll start going over to one of the tables, and
I'll join him.
yeah,
Okay.
a chance to like sit down next to them.
Yep.
Good evening.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
My name is Vaelin Darius. What was your name?
My name's Dave.
Pleasure to meet you, Dave. We're looking for a friend of ours. Might you and I sort of look to include more people at the table. Anyone here know a Diglin?
All of the other people at the table look at Dave. And Dave kind of like looks around and then looks at the rat and then looks back and goes like,
No, I don't know. No, I don't know that person.
Then in Dave's head, Dave will hear, "It's okay. You can tell me if you do. I won't share your secret."
And you hear back in your head,
She went to see the mayors.
"And how long ago was that?"
Like a week.
"Thank you very much."
Please don't tell anyone.
"Never."
and so you two are just staring at each other, and everyone else is staring at Dave. So there's just a group of people sitting around the table, all staring at him while he just like sweats. Yeah.
During this conversation, Bree is slowly and stealthily trying to make her way towards this rat.
Okay.
Probably not stealthily, but 11.
11? Okay.
So
the rat is like looking at the room, and then as you start making your way towards it, it just like creakily rotates and is looking at you, but it doesn't move.
Yeah, and I think Bree kind of has these moments where like trying to casually lean up against the wall. And,
yeah, like you
very
lean and it
obvious.
like creaks back to the crowd, and then you start moving again, and it creaks back to you.
I'll wait a beat before before this inevitable action. Let it witness a little more.
Sure.
Innkeeper, what's your name?
It's not important.
Okay. What's the order of events here?
Well, it's juice time now, and then it will be nighttime alone walks. We try to stagger those out. And usually after your nighttime alone walk, you snap awake in a cold sweat about noon the next day.
Everybody does?
I think so. We don't talk about it, but I think that's my experience.
Perhaps we should see about visiting the mayors.
Or take our nighttime alone walks? Right now.
Yes.
Get ahead of the curve. Why not?
Sounds like a good idea.
I think right as you go to do this to Bree is when you just hear a loud crash of the shelf and Bree's teeth in it.
So you just bite the whole shelf with the
rat and
around
all,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you like start chewing up wood and rat. It doesn't dodge. Like you kind of go in and at those last moments are ready to like go to the side as it jumps out of the way, but it doesn't. It just turns and watches you do it. And the innkeeper kind of turns around and is like,
"Oh, my shelf."
and he kind of goes over and pokes the edges, and he's like,
This will have to be destroyed.
Because they're sharp and they're sharp.
and he
Spit
starts
out a
like
few splinters.
yeah, and he starts sweeping them up, and he's like, "Oh, geez," and like throwing them into the fire, and starts like breaking the shelf down and throwing it into the fire.
I'm gonna grab a couple splinters.
You can try. You'll have to wrestle them out of this guy's. He's like feverishly.
I'll try to sleight of hand him.
Yep, go for it.
8.
Yeah, he like slaps your hand. He's like, "Be gone, child!"
You're mean.
I go for the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far away are we? How far away are we from the caravan?
Not. It's within sight.
Okay. I'm gonna run over there.
Okay.
Jump in the back. Find some twine and some twigs. And I'm gonna fashion them into a cross and attach it to a string, tie it around my puppy's neck, and try to hide it. Try to hide it in the fur. And then he's gonna hold it, and he's like bless you, you magic, holy magic blessings.
You actually see like there's a guard making his way over that way, and when you leave, you see the guard talking to Yuri. And Yuri's like, "What do you mean I need to drink juice?" And he's kind of like, okay, we're gonna go drink juice in pairs. And so him and Sky start to make their way over, and Light stays with Dust at the caravan.
I want to head towards the castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
We can leave Baito to trap caravan.
I'd feel better about that, personally.
Yeah.
So I realize he's the only NPC we've taken along with us.
Go, you open the trap?
Yes, it's a good idea. break off maybe pieces of caravan, little bits of wood.
Don't break off pieces from the caravan. You can use things in this scrap pile here that I dumped when I transported back from the wolf. There's lots of stakes. You can set traps that skewer rats or wolves or anything that any person that's really cold and smells like blood.
Oh, that's very specific trap requirements. Take me a bit of time.
There's even more, Bido. You don't let anyone see you handling that sharpened wood. Try to keep that out of sight as best you can. Kind of hidden traps.
Oh, hidden traps. Kill cold things and wolves and rats. Wolves and rats is easy.
And then he starts making his way off and like tucking the stakes in, and he's like,
Bido,
We believe in you, Bito.
Bido, I don't think any insects are going to do anything either.
Insects are going to do. What do you mean?
Just your centipedes if you have any, or
I'm out of
spiders.
centipedes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I wish I had some centipedes. That would be really nice.
and he starts like making his way up again. He's like,
I guess I could put a thermometer in front of the door, and if somebody's cold.
So you make your way up this sort of long winding staircase up to the front. As you reach the gates, you see 2 guards standing in front of it. They sort of watch you approach, and then as you get towards the top, they wordlessly just creak the gate open for you, and these 2 heavy doors sort of swing open, revealing another set of steps that leads up to the huge wooden and iron door of Castle Garin.
So, just to have the record clear with all of us, we're approaching 3 vampires in their lair.
It certainly appears that way.
All right, good. I just wanted to make sure I was following along.
What it seems like.
Should we perhaps... there's no going in unannounced, is there?
Bree would prefer to be invited in. It seems to be custom.
We probably should have a backup plan, though. Like, how do we want to get out of here quick?
They're going to try to eat us, right?
We'll do our best to avoid it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to be able to look at you and say, well, yeah, sure. I mean, I think we could all get together and take down 3 vampires, but I also don't like to lie to children.
Ben, everything in the world will try to eat you. You cannot be scared of vampire or yeti or wolf. Everything has big teeth and big claw. You must just have bigger teeth.
Metaphorically speaking.
So I should try to eat them first?
Not quite. Vampires aren't very nutritious.
The giant doors creak open. And you see this guy dressed in a butler costume like, "What are you doing standing outside talking outside this door?"
We are waiting for invite in, as per custom.
Ah, well, come in.
Thank you.
Bree just kind of shuffles past everybody. Yeah, kind of ushers you inside.
Poor bosses. Hopefully they don't pay the price for not following the ghouls. If they're lucky, the mayors won't turn this meeting into a mince meeting. I'm sure their bark is worse than their bite. That one's funny because they are vampires. And I think vampires bark. Find out if our fiends survive on the next chapter of Wonders and Blunders Halloween Spooktacle. See you next freak. Oh, funny.